Okay, so if you're joining me again, I had to disappear for a second because I had to adjust my settings on my phone. Otherwise, I'd lose you partway through because I wasn't connected to the right place. So, if you're watching, please leave me a comment so that I know. And if you're not watching, well, then you can watch it later. So if you missed last night and there we go. Uh-oh, I lost my video. Oh dear. Something happened. There we go. Okay. Probably didn't need to see that, but I was upside down for a minute. You were looking at my ceiling, wasn't that fun? So, all right. So if you missed last night, the Fun Day Monday card, these are the supplies that you needed. And we had a bunch of people last night that kind of hopped on late and didn't get started with this, so they kind of missed the beginning direction. So that's why I decided to come back today on Take Two Tuesday. So this piece of cardstock is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. I scored it at 5 1/2, and obviously I folded it. So you're also going to need 2 pieces, and in this case Whisper White. Last night I had Very Vanilla because that's what matched my other paper, but so you need 2 pieces. They're both the same size. They are 4 inches this way by 5 1/4 this way. One of the pieces I embossed, but you don't have to do that. In fact, if you scroll through the other posts on here, you'll see that Sharon did not emboss both the first, but she did a little stamping on her other one, so it gave it a little bit of decoration, I guess we could say. So there's that. And you will also need 2 pieces of cardstock that are 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. They're square, so 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of whatever designer series paper you wanted to use. And these pieces are 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And the original post had the wrong dimensions. It said 2 1/4, but I updated it. So if you're making this now, they should be 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And we also had a discussion last night about what do you do if your paper is directional, and you'll see what I mean when we look at the card. So this one actually has a directional piece in it. So, and then you're also going to need 2 smaller pieces, and these are for the sentiment that go on the front and the little matting piece behind it. And that is, what size is this? I think it's 3/4 by 3 inches, and this one is 2 3/4 by 5/8. But you can do a different size if you wanted. Like if you looked at Sharon's card, she has a bigger one. Whatever sentiment you're putting on it, you just want something that will fit your sentiment, something that's the right size. Okay, so you also needed a little bit of ribbon or twine. Last night I used twine. Tonight I've got some really thin ribbon, so that's what I'm going to use later. Okay, so let's get started. And I'm not going to forget to put the ribbon on this time because I forgot last night. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do it the normal way. And we are going to do just a little bit of cutting. I didn't do that when I gave you the original directions because I knew that you would think, I was being tricky, that these pieces were going to go right on top of these other ones because they fit just right like they're supposed to. But guess what? That's not what we did. So we actually cut these pieces, each one, into 4 equal sized pieces. So we're going to cut it at 1 1/4 inches right down the middle. And then we're going to take each of these pieces and cut it at 1 1/4 inches. So each of these pieces are 1 1/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches square. So if you wanted to, you could just start out that way, but I was trying to be a little tricky so you wouldn't know what you were making. And then we're going to do the same thing with this other piece. So we're going to cut it at 1 1/4 inches, and then each of the other 2 pieces, we're going to turn those sideways and cut those each at 1 1/4 inches also. Let's move this out of the way. So when we're done, we're going to have 8 pieces. Did I do that right? Yes. We're going to have 8 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. And then we're done. Okay. So 4 of these are dark, 4 of these are a little bit lighter. Okay, now we're going to take these 2 pieces, and I need to get my glue because I forgot my glue. Sorry about that. Okay, and we're going to put them together. So one of the pieces is going to go straight this way, just like you're looking at a square. And the other piece, we're going to glue it together in just a second, but I'm just going to show you real quick. It's going to go up and down this way. So you kind of have kind of like a 8-pointed star, I guess is how you do it. But you want, when you're putting it together and actually gluing it, you want the points of these to be in the middle of the side of the one on the bottom. So, and then you want the point on the side to be in the middle of the side. So you kind of need to eyeball it and just kind of make it as even as you can. So when you're putting the glue on, you just need to put some in the middle, just enough to kind of hold it together. So you can see I just put some right in the middle. And then I'm just going to use my graph paper to kind of line this up a little bit. It's always helpful. And we're just going to put it down right in the middle. If you use glue to put it down, you can kind of move it around a little if you don't get it exactly in the right spot where you wanted it. But you do kind of want to make sure that like these little square points are kind of even all the way around. So there you go. So that's what it should look like once you've got both the pieces together. Now we're going to start adding these pieces. And it doesn't matter if you start with a dark one or a light one, but we're going to start adding these. Actually, both of these are a little bit directional because this has candy canes on it. They're a little scattered, but they're kind of... So I'm going to actually start with this one. We're going to glue it down. We're going to start in one of the corners, and we're going to glue it down just like that. We're going to leave just a little bit around the side. But for the very first piece only, we're only going to glue, and actually for this one, I learned a little bit last night, I did a little bit too far, that we're only going to put glue in this one corner right here, just a little bit, just to hold it down. And you'll see why, and just when we kind of get the rest of it put together. But we just want enough to just kind of hold it in place while we get everything else down. So you're just going to put it on just like that. So it's going to go just, then you're going to take one of your other pieces, you're going to put glue all over the back, and you're going to take the next little point and you're going to put it right in the corner of that next little point. Just like that. So you can see it's a little tilted. So now when we go to do the next one, to keep everything going in the right direction, we're also, this one is going to go right here. We're going to make sure that the direction of the other piece and this piece match. So we want the stripes going the same way. So you don't want, this is a no, don't put it this way, because then it's going to kind of look a little cockeyed when we're finished. So you want them to go all in the same direction. So you're just going to make sure that whatever direction this one's going, this one's going to go the same way. And then we're going to put glue on the back of the entire piece of this one, just like that. And we're going to glue it down right on the edge there. So you can kind of see where this is going. We're going to be alternating pieces of our designer series paper. And I don't know if you can see really well, so I'm going to hold it up a little bit. And you want to leave just a teeny bit of an edge right around where the edge of your designer series paper is and where the edge of your cardstock is. So I hope you can see that. Okay, and then we're just going to keep going. So this one is also a little bit directional, so we're just going to kind of make it so we think it looks like it's going the same direction as that one. And we're going to glue that on. And there we go. And we're just going to keep going around till we get all 8 of these pieces on. Now you have to pay attention when I get to the last one, because that one is just a tiny bit different. And remember, we want the directional stripes to go the same direction as our other ones, so you can see these are going the same way. And we're lining it up just right on the edge, so just a little bit of the edge is showing. We're just going to keep going all the way around. And I don't know if you have figured it out yet, but you might, excuse me, it looks like a little pinwheel, and that's actually what this pattern is called. It's called a pinwheel. So I just have 2 more pieces to do. This one, and we're going to get the stripes to go the right way. Line it up right in the corner. Okay, and now you have to pay attention, because the last one is a little bit different. If you remember, we didn't glue the very first one all the way down, and that's because this last piece is going to slide right underneath. If we glued the first one all the way down, we wouldn't be able to slide it underneath. So we need to be able to slide it. If we glued the first one down, it would end up looking like that, which is a little crazy and not right. So we needed to be able to slide this one underneath. So that's why we did not glue the first one. So I'm just gonna slide it underneath. And this is the other reason why you want to use glue. If you used the Stampin' seal, it would be kind of sticky to do. Okay, so that part is now finished. We do, however, need to put a little bit of glue on the back of this one piece that we didn't glue down. So I'm just going to kind of hold it a little bit and just put a little bit of glue right on the edge, and then just press it down. Make sure you don't get too much, because you don't want it to squish out. So there you go. So that is done, and now we're going to put the rest of the card together. So these are the other pieces we have. So if you embossed your piece, your one piece, you're going to put that on the front of your card. If you want to stamp this and put a little design on it first, you can do that. Just make sure you stamp it first and then put it on your card. It just works better in case you make a mistake. You won't have attached it already and then have to go, oh, I don't like that, and tear it off. So just going to put that right on there. Just like that, right in the middle. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Take it off, quick, before it dries. I forgot to put the ribbon on it. Huh. I did the same thing last night. Where's my brains? Okay, I'm going to flip it over real quick. I am going to put a piece of ribbon on it. That's going to go across the bottom. Since I already have a little bit of glue, it'll probably just stick right on there. So I'm just going to wrap it a little bit around, like that. Press it down, because I already have glue on the back of my paper, so it should stick. If not, you will need to either put a little bit of glue. You can also use twine for this. You don't have to use ribbon. I'll cut that off. Hello, there we go. Okay. That'll stick on there. Oh my. The fun part of doing stuff live is you get to see all my boo-boos. So I just put a little bit more glue on. So now I'm going to actually glue it down. Yay! So there we go. Okay. Now this piece is going to go right here. So you can do it either way, depending on how you just want one of the points to go up. So I could do it this way, I could do it that way. I think I'm going to do it this way. I think I like the stripes kind of going at an angle. So I did put this on with dimensionals. So I'm going to do that today too. So I just need to grab some of those. Just need a few on the back just to hold it down. Dimensionals are my friends, you know. I like them. And get these off. Okay. Now I'm going to put it back on. So I'm going to put it this way, right kind of above the middle a little bit. I still do need to, I'm going to stamp my sentiment and put it right there. Since this is kind of Christmas paper, this is actually paper from the Most Wonderful Time paper. This is one of the papers that they brought back from last year. You can buy it as a, it was part of a kit, the Most Wonderful Time kit, and it's on page 7 of your catalog, the mini catalog, if you want to look at it. I just stuck my hand in the ink. I'm going to ink this in red, and I'm going to use, this has a Merry Christmas on the bottom. I'm going to use the Merry Christmas stamp set. I haven't used this one yet. I gotta find it. Where are we? Ooh, that's much bigger than I thought. Nope, never mind, it's too big. All right, next choice. I grabbed a whole bunch. Let's do Happiest of Holidays instead. This is from the Merry Moose stamp set. And I think this one will fit perfect. It'll be fine. Yep, so you want to make sure that your sentiment actually fits onto the piece of paper you have. So if you choose one that's bigger, obviously you just need to get a bigger piece of paper, but since I already have this pre-cut, I'm not going to cut another piece. I just found another one that worked. I kind of grabbed a couple. Just going to want to stamp it right in the middle. I'm going to put those together. I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. Yep, that'll work. Okay, let me close this up so I don't stick my hand in it. I'm very good at doing that. Just going to put a little glue on the back of this. And glue that down. I am going to put that on with dimensionals just because, you know, I like dimensionals. I'm going to put 3 on it so it doesn't sag in the middle. That would be bad. If you put twine on yours, you're probably going to want to use 2 smaller dimensionals so there's a little space in between. This ribbon is flat, so this will still lay flat. If you have the twine there, if you have the 2 smaller ones, it'll fit right between the 2 smaller ones so that your thing won't rock back and forth, and this will lay flat. So, but because I have ribbon on there, it's going to do that anyway. Just going to put that right in the middle like that. And now we need to cover up the middle piece here. I'm going to show you real quick the one that I did last night. Obviously this one's different colors. I had some twine and I wound some around on a glue dot and then just put a little pearl in the middle. But we talked when we were talking last night, and we thought, you know, this is quilting. A little button might look cute. So I went and found some buttons. I found a white one and I found a red one. So I kind of brought them both, and I was going to kind of figure out which one I like better. I think I like the white one better. But what I'm going to do, so that it doesn't look like there's a button sitting on it with nothing on it, I'm actually going to take, I have an extra little piece here by my scissors, and I'm going to thread it through so it looks like there's thread going through a button. You know, like if you look at the buttons on your shirt or something else. I am going to cut this real skinny on one end so that I have something kind of pointy. I don't know if you can see that. If I hold it up on here, you can. Yep. You can see how it's very pointy on the end, so that it'll go through the hole on the button. So you're gonna do it this way, so you only have to do one end. You just go up through one side, and then you're gonna use that same side, what kind of came apart, to go down through the other hole. And so you're just gonna pull it through. And so when you're done, it looks like that. So it looks kind of like you have a sewed button. All you need to do is just tie it once on the back, stick a little glue dot on it, it'll hold it together, it won't come untied, and it's not going to come out. I mean, this is pretty thick. You can always use real thread on it if you wanted, if you don't have a ribbon that's skinny enough, or a piece of twine. Get in there. It's all right. That's all I'm trying to do. Yeah, so you can see I've just tied it in a knot, just pulled it really tight. I'm going to put a glue dot on it first, and then, hold on, use this. I have some glue dots right here. Glue dot off there. Just going to put a glue dot right on there. Hope it doesn't pull off on my hand. It's going to hold that little knot in place, and then I'm just going to trim it off so that you won't see the pieces on the side of the card. So this kind of looks like a quilting card. Get off. And yep, and then the glue dot will still hold it on. You could put another glue dot on it, but this one will actually hold it on. You can see, it doesn't come off. It stays on there. And then the only other thing you need to do is if you want to stamp a sentiment or something on the inside, if you want to add another little strip of paper, you can, but this piece goes on the inside of your card. So you can write a note and people can read it, because, you know, writing on the red, you're not going to be able to read it very well. So, whoop. Hello. And there you go. So this is like a Christmas version of the one that I did last night. So there you go. Very easy to do. You know, this looks a lot harder than it is once you know what you're doing and you're just kind of layering each piece going all the way around the circle. It works really well. So this is the one that I made last night. You can see this one's very vanilla. That's why I had very vanilla on my picture. And then this is the original one that I made. So you can see even these two, even though they're from the same pack of paper, that's the Boho Indigo paper. You know, they look a little bit different just because the patterns are different on there. You can do whatever you want. This would look real cute in like red and green. You don't have to use like all of one color. It doesn't need to be monochromatic. Just these two just happen to be that way, but you could use, you know, just as long as they're matching colors, and one needs to be a little bit darker and more solid than the other one so that you get a better contrast. If they were both solid, or if they were both light, you wouldn't get the contrast between the light and the dark pieces. So there you go. That was your Monday Fun Day for August 31st. And this is called a Pinwheel card. So you can also look it up online if you want, or look up other examples, but now you know how to make it. And you have the measurements if you go back and look at the post for the Monday Fun Day. And I will also post some measurements once I turn this off. I'll post the measurements again on this post in the comments so that you can find it later. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you make one yourself. If you do, please post it to the Card Corner crew. Have a great night.